Tuning in for some movie reviews. Film flickers and movie reviews. Let's hear those movie reviews. Film flickers and movie reviews. And action.
Hello Flickers, I am here on my own again. We're expecting somebody, but we were expecting some... sorry? Don't know what that is. Stuart? What? Are you... What?
Okay, look, it was just Halloween, and I was just a little bit taken aback that I didn't realise what you were going to be reviewing. It was scary, man.
Well, it's all over now, it's fine. Apparently I'm not on my own.
Sorry.
Stuart.
I was just a little bit scared for the Halloween reviews, and I kind of hid. Fortunately, didn't realise that people were going to be sitting me the whole time, so got a little bit trapped.
Can't be pleasant.
Passed out.
Not surprising. Not surprising.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
We ate
gas
a lot of meat.
gas attack.
So,
hi Flickers. Yeah, so we found some good reviews. Obviously, I was unavailable.
yeah, apparently, yeah, unavailable. So, what are we reviewing then?
Well, obviously it's been the 5th of November recently, so I thought we'd try and stay with that kind of theme and review V Vendetta.
Right, excellent. The 2005 film directed by James McTague.
Yep, that's right. It is an adaptation from a comic book series which was of the same name, V For Vendetta, which was very much heavily set in the sort of 80s era, because it was to sort of Thatcherite and those kind of things that were happening at the time, which were very controversial. But that's kind of what was going through with that. The comic book series was written by Alan Moore, and all of the artwork was done by David Lloyd. So it was beautiful stuff. One of the things that kind of really lends to the film as well is the fact that the way that David Lloyd did a lot of the panels and stuff was that it was very much in a kind of cinematographic kind of way anyway, so you got a real in-depth, like there were empty panels and stuff, but it said a lot with it, you know, which is great. But of course, a few of the things that are different between obviously the film and the comic book series is you couldn't just do the whole of the comic book series. I mean, it would be hours before you get to the end of the movie.
You'd end up with the Watchmen syndrome.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, Alan Moore is the same writer for Watchmen as well, so that was good. Again, another great political kind of film, which is what V Vendetta was. It was very politically led idealism of where a government could go, and it is set in England, but it was very much based on a fascism-centric government, which obviously lends itself to the Second World War and those kind of things, like, you know, dictatorships and those kind of things. So it was very much kind of a warning of what England might become, which is very funny, because again the another difference between the comic book series and the film is that the way that the comic book series was done was as if the Conservatives would be out of power and the Labour would then be in the next government, and that's where it was leading to, whereas the film's very much centred around a Conservative viewpoint, which does then become its own political party, much like the way that it obviously worked with with Germany during the Second World War and all that. We won't go into that. But the other big differences with it, of course, are things like the character of the main protagonist, which is V, codename V.
Codename V.
Codename V. Was that in the comics he was very much just a very unhinged and very mentally unstable person, very unpredictable, and you did believe that it was a personal vendetta rather than doing something for the greater good. And it, like, the greater good was more of an excuse for him to lean on for why he was doing certain things. But in the film, it's not. He's a very measured individual. He's super intelligent. He kind of, the reason why it's seen as a superhero film is that he's perceived with, or bestowed with, special powers, kind of thing, like super strength,
kind of
durability.
Enhanced. Not quite like the Superman level of overpowering. More just basically enhanced. He's a little bit faster. He's a little bit tougher.
Yeah. It's a lot more grounded, I guess, with the extent of what he can do.
Yeah.
But there is a super intelligence with it as well, because he's forward planned. Like, he's really worked out what he wants to do, and the fact that he's taken decades to formulate this whole plan that's gone ahead, which is awesome, which is still very close to where the comics were leading and stuff. The fact that he did plan all these things out and everything.
It's it follows the overall plot of the comic book well. It does make a lot of changes, but there are a lot of very sensible and very smart changes. The character of Evie, played by Natalie Portman, in what I believe is quite possibly one of her best roles, is much smarter than she is in the graphic novel. She's a much more intelligent, much more resourceful character, and through
it's a very well written and very well rounded female character, and this is the thing as well as before the explosion of superhero movies. I know it's hard to classify it as a superhero movie, but when you look at all these things that exploded afterwards, because of course 2007 was the big launch of Iron Man, and that canonised everything else that basically came after. But it was amazing to be able to not have a weak female character, and it was portrayed with so much more depth. There was an intelligence behind it. There was a grounded sort of ideal behind it as well, and then what happens to her character as well, and the arc that she leads through makes you believe more in that character as well, rather than the one in the comic book series, because even though she went for a very similar arc, you always felt that she was still a victim. You never felt that it was her strength that guided her through and got her to the other side. You just felt that it was circumstance, and it was because of someone else that influenced her, rather than her coming to her own assessment of what was going on. So with because I don't want to spoil it, which is a tough thing to do, because obviously it's 2005, and a lot of you have probably seen V For Vendetta, which is why you're watching our review about it. But it's hard not to spoil it, because there's so many great moments in it as well that are kind of outstanding, which are, I mean, I go on about it, but the Revolution speech is just phenomenal. I absolutely love it.
There's a lot of speeches and a lot of monologues. Hugo Weaving gets a lot of screen time with some genuinely excellent and stirring monologues. He plays the role brilliantly. I mean, Hugo Weaving is amazing at this.
Yeah, kudos to him as well for actually standing by the decision to keep the mask on. You know, not do the typical Hollywood thing, which again is very rare for its time, for 2005, to not, you know, sort of reveal the identity underneath, which keeps very close to the comic books, because although there is a sequence in the comic books where you kind of get these flashes of who you think it is, you're never actually shown the face of V, because it is about the ideals of the character and what he does as an idealist, rather than who he actually was.
Yeah, because V in the comic books and in the film to slightly less to the degree, but certainly still strong. He's a symbol. He's a symbol for rebellion, a symbol for change, rather than being a character in itself. I think it's I mean, you mentioned about superhero films. It does this film an injustice to call it a superhero film.
Yeah,
It's much deeper than the average film. I classify it as an action drama because there is a lot of action. But if you do go into this film thinking it's an action film, you'll be disappointed because there is a pacing to it which does give it drama, thriller overtones.
It is, and it is, because I don't want to skate over it. The fact that it is a political thriller.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think about this film? Personally, very strong cast, incredibly strong cast. In general, in fact, they all do a great job. The director, why has he not done a load more big films? Because this was superbly done. It was
superbly done, but it wasn't very well received, and I think half of that is because of the political implications for it. Which, God, how many times have I said political so far? Anyway,
countless.
I know. Yeah, leave a comment in below. Count how many times I've said it. Keep hitting those views. So
make it a drinking game.
Yeah, do it. Political. 2 shots. No. But yeah, it wasn't well received at the time. It wasn't a box office smash, despite the fact that it had some amazing names in there. But people like Stephen Fry, John Hurt as well.
John Hurt was incredible. He always is, though.
Absolutely amazing. One of the ones that sort of popped out at me because I'm quite a big fan of was A Holby City, which there's a guy, the actor who's Guy Henry, who plays Henrik in Holby City and stuff. But it was funny just kind of pointing him out and going, he's in it as well. The cinematography in V was phenomenal, and of course there were a lot of things that were kind of echoing the Matrix sort of style because the
Wachowski brothers did the adaptation of this, which
they
first did it before the Matrix. In fact,
they did. They started writing it before the Matrix and everything, and but the cinematographer, I should say, is Adrian Biddle, who it's phenomenally done, but there is definitely an echoing of the Matrix style with a couple of slow-mos and everything, but it's not a copy.
No.
It's very much an echoing, but not like things like Equilibrium, which was pretty much they've done it in that, let's do it too. Lighting was superb as well, which you sometimes lose a lot of it, especially when you start grading the film afterwards. Is you lose a lot of the great lighting that was done as well to capture those images, especially when you've got like a very tight close-up shot of V's mask as he just leans over his shoulder. You just have that very subtle sort of look of the light hitting the mask and stuff, but also giving it a silhouette.
So thanks for watching, and if you could press the like button, which is sort of down here,
just
down there.
Just down there. It looks like I'm rubbing you, but
thanks.
No, anyway, and yeah, don't forget to comment as well with either things that you feel about V Vendetta, and also you can subscribe right here
somewhere.
It's going to be on my chest there.
There?
Yeah, it's on my chest.
And if you want to see our previous video, that should be.
Ooh, mind your head. Mind your head.
Here,
there we go.
Somewhere there. Is somewhere there?
Yeah, just there. That's it.
Alright, excellent. Thanks for watching, and we hope we'll see you again soon.
Bye, Flickers.